Good morning, my name is Maria and I'll be your mediator today. Mediation has proven to be a successful process, and since you're all here, I know you're both committed to reaching the best resolution. I want to clarify I have no personal connection to the case, therefore I have no formed opinion on your case. I'm unbiased and I want the best for you both. In case of any questions, I'm going to walk you through the mediation process. My job is to facilitate communication and to help each of you communicate more clearly in hopes you will reach a settlement. My job is to initiate communication and ask questions regarding the topic. My job is to help each of you explain your case to me in a manner that will help reevaluate both your positions and the position of the other party. The mediation process is confidential. I'll do everything I can to assure you that the process remains confidential. Anything you give me here today will be destroyed. My notes will be destroyed as well. Now I'll describe the process we're going to be following today. After my opening statement, you each will get the chance to make one. Your opening statement is simply a statement of your party's position. Usually an open statement includes history of the dispute, the resolution you think is appropriate, and anything else you wish to add to shed light on the position of the other party. After each of you make your opening statements, we'll remain together what is called a joint session. In the joint session, I'll ask questions from each of you. That way I understand both your positions and have all the information that I need. During the session, it will also give you both the opportunity to communicate freely and ask me to step in at any time. If things get off track, I will also step in to bring us back to our overall goal. After the joint session, we'll begin to break up into separate groups called caucuses. During this time, it'll give each of you the opportunity to tell me separately your side of the story. During the caucus, I may spend more time with one party than the other. The time I spend with each party has nothing to do with anything other than one party may have more questions than the other. What is said during these private sessions will be not disclosed to the other party. Everything during the private session also remains confidential. Once I'm met with both parties separately, we'll come back together to go over the agreements that work for both parties. For this process to work, I need your commitment to time and resolution. Mediation is a process and it takes time to develop. While I'll not keep you here against your will, I would like to know that you're both committed to stay and work on the dispute as long as I see that progress is being made. The reason I ask this commitment is that I'm the only one person who will have an overall picture of the progress of this dispute. Each of you will only have a partial picture. Are you both willing to make this commitment to me now?
Yeah.
Alright, good. The next commitment I ask that you committed to a resolution. I assume that both of you are here to make the situation better. If at any point either of you feel this is not working, you have permission to leave. Are you both committed?
Yep.
Do you both understand how this process is going to go?
Yes.
Perfect. Our goal here is to reach an agreement. I again commend you guys for your commitment to this process and your agreement to participate. If you have any questions at this time, we'll begin with the opening statements. Brenna, you can go first.
Hello, my name is Brenna. I'm the one who originally suggested mediation. Zig has been paying rent on and off since we signed our lease in April of 2019. For the months of May, June, July, and August, she did not pay a dime towards rent. Her payments improved once we started school, but she has stopped paying once school was canceled in March due to COVID-19. We're on a lease together, therefore her missed payments make me look bad to our landlord. The missed rent payments have gotten so bad that our landlord has started covering rent for her. He is losing money and he has had enough of it. Our landlord reached out to me and her asking that we pay back the rent that has been missed. He has also threatened eviction. The house is perfect for us. It is in a good neighborhood, it is close to school, and it is just the amount of space that we need. We do not want to lose the house, and I have a fear that if rent continues to go unpaid, we will be evicted. Our landlord did not want to participate in mediation, and that is why I am here. He has sent me with a list of requests, which I hope to bring up in the joint session. Zig and I have a good relationship that I do not want to be ruined because of this. We also have planned on living together next year for the same landlord. I want to make sure the same issue doesn't reoccur. The issue has caused a lot of tension between us. We play softball together, have all the same friends, and are in some of the same classes together. I do not want to have to kick her out of the house, but I also do not want her to keep missing rent. By her missing rent, it could cost both of us the house for this year and next. My hope is that the mediation process saves our friendship and also our house.
Alright, so go ahead with your opening statement.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie, but you can refer to me as Zig. I was asked to go to this mediation by my landlord, Brenna. When we signed the lease in April of 2019, I told Brenna that I would not be making payments if I was not living there. I planned to live at home with my parents for the summer until school started. At the time, Brenna said it was going to be okay, so I didn't ask any other questions. When I moved in for the school year in August, my missed rent was never brought to light. I did not feel the need of paying it back because it was never talked about any further. I've worked at Olive Garden for the past 2 years as a server. This gave me enough money to pay rent continuously through the year. When COVID-19 hit, I was laid off. I had no income coming in since the last week of February. Therefore, I had not had the money to pay rent for March or April. I'm continuously looking for a job, but I have not found one yet. At least one that will give me enough money to pay the money I need to. I did not know what our landlord expects of me. If I do not have the money, I don't have the money. I agreed to this mediation because my relationship with Brenna and the fact I do love living in our house. My room is the perfect space for me, and I would hate to move back home and live with my parents. My hope is to find something that can work for me in my financial situation. I also love Brenna as a person and as a friend. I don't want this to ruin our friendship. Being evicted would also be put on my record and may ruin any chance I have getting a house in the future. I'm willing to figure something out and resolve this issue.
Okay, so what I've heard from Brenna's opening statement is that she's been in contact with the landlord. The landlord suggested that we come here today. That way Zig can find a way to pay rent and not get evicted. The landlord also sent you here with a payment plan that may help pay back the money you owe. Is that correct, Brenna?
Yeah, that's right.
And then from what I've heard from Zig's opening statement is that you originally had no intention on paying for rent for the first few months that you had the house. You did not want to pay because you planned on living at your parents' house until August. You are now not paying because you lost the job that helps you pay rent. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, now you'll have the chance to ask each other a few questions that'll help both further understand each other's situations. I'll be stepping in whenever I feel the need to. This should be an open conversation, both of you speaking freely. After we talk, this is when we would break into our private caucuses.
You never told me that you had lost your job. If you would have earlier, we might have figured out something.
I was embarrassed that I did not have the money, and I was unaware it would turn into such a huge thing, so I just let go.
Have you filed for unemployment and you plan on looking for a job once this is all over?
I'm not filed because I hope this would pass way sooner and I would be back at Olive Garden working again. I talked to my manager and she said she would let me know as soon as they open back up.
Okay, so now that you guys have the chance to talk for a little bit, this is the time we're going to break into separate groups. Zig, would you please leave the room so I can begin the private caucus with Brenna? I'll let you know when I come back in.
Thank you.
Alright, Brenna, now you have the chance to disclose to me anything that you do not want to be shared with Zig. You can also explain in more detail the situation with her and what your landlord has presented to you as a payment plan.
Okay, so earlier this month I expressed to our landlord how I did not want to kick Zig out of the house. He offered a payment plan to me that I did not bring up yet because I was waiting to do so in this session.
Okay, what is this plan?
He offered that she pays half the rent back that she missed when they first moved in. The total cost of all would be $1,000. He is letting her pay $500 if she does this within the next month. If she were to pay this back and continue to pay future payments, she will stay. If she refuses all of this, she would be forced to leave.
Do you think she'll agree with this plan?
When I first heard it, I figured it would be no issue, but at that time I was unaware that she did not have the money for it. Now that I know she does not have a job, I am worried this will not work out.
Is she a good roommate, and do you have a backup plan if she refuses this offer or does not continue to make her future payments?
She is a good roommate and one of my really good friends. That is the main reason that I have to let this go for so long. Our landlord likes us too, which is also why he was so generous in offering this plan. We have someone else we can replace her with, but the girl is not ideal. I lived with her freshman year and she was kind of messy. Her side of the room was always a mess, and that's why I picked Zig to live with.
Have you brought up the missed payments before, or is it something that she's just being talked to about?
We have brought it to her attention a few times and it did get better, but then she fell off again the month of March and April. She can't keep missing rent or else we will get kicked out, which is a worst case scenario for the both of us.
To make you aware, if she does not agree to this plan, that would mean that we did not come to an agreement today. That also may result in your friendship no longer being a thing.
Yes, I'm aware.
Do you have any further questions? If not, I'm going to ask you to leave. That way I can begin my session with Zig. After that, we'll come back together and talk it all out, hopefully reaching an agreement that is the best for both of you. Alright, Brenna, can you please leave? Zig, you can come back in. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks.
Alright, you have the chance now to disclose with me anything you want. That'll not be brought back to Brenna. You can ask me any questions and reveal anything that you feel needs to be said. What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Truthfully, I'm kind of annoyed that the landlord presented Brenna a payment plan to talk to me about. I feel like there is a lot being said behind my back about my own issues.
Do you think it's fair to continue living there without paying rent? You also realize that your landlord is losing money by allowing you to stay there.
I realize it is unfair and I do feel bad about it. I want to come to an agreement that is fair for me, Brenna, and our landlord. I also want to save our friendship because that is something that's very important to me.
Your landlord has the option to evict you. Brenna also has the option to kick you out, finding another roommate. Is there anything you could do to think of to prevent this from happening? Or in other words, is there any way to get the money that would save you?
I could sell some of my clothes that I rarely wear. My mom also has jewelry that she gave me that I don't think she would mind me selling.
If she does not think this will be enough money to pay the things that need to be paid, do you have another option?
Our landlord would have to wait until I get the money or a job. If I don't have the money, I don't have the money. There's not much I can do about that.
Would you be willing to see if your parents would help you out until you get a job and the money you needed to stay there?
I really hate asking my parents for money. I'm very independent, but I will ask them if it means that I get to stay in the house and keep my friendship with Brenna.
Do you think your parents would help you out for sure? And why haven't they helped you before it got to this point?
They most definitely will. They do not know I haven't been paying rent or they would have stepped in by now. They don't even know that I lost my job.
Are you okay with proposing this to Brenna?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Brenna, you can come back in. We're gonna give you both the chance to pitch your ideas to each other and come up with an agreement that's best for both you and your landlord. Alright, so now that I've had the chance to talk to you both together and separately, this is now the time where you guys get to come to an agreement that you think is fair for this situation. Brenna's talked with your landlord, came up with the following payment plan. He's requesting you to pay back half the rent you missed when you first moved in. This would be $500 and he wants it within the next month. He's also requesting that you pay your future payments on time, and if you do not, you will be evicted.
I can pay back the money that I owe him by next month. I also will be able to get the money for my future payments that I'm sure of.
How are you going to get this money?
I'm selling clothes that I never worn. I'm also selling jewelry that my mom has given me, and I'm going to ask my parents for help until I get back on my feet.
Will you be able to pay rent in the future, and how will you be doing so?
I'm going to have my parents help me with my finances until I get to find a job. I'm filing for unemployment in hopes that it'll give me a little extra cash as well.
Brenna, now that you heard her offer, what would you like to offer her?
Paying back half the money our landlord requested is fine by me, and as long as she makes her future payments, she can stay. However, if she misses another payment, we have no other choice but to kick her out and find another roommate. By missing another payment, our landlord will also want the remaining $500 from the missed payments in the beginning of the year.
Okay, so Brenna's saying that as long as you do the payment plan offered by your landlord and continue to pay rent in the future, you'll be able to stay. But if a payment is missed, they'll have no other choice but to kick you out, and you have to pay the remaining $500.
So Brenna, as long as I do what has been requested for me, I will get to stay and our friendship will be saved?
Yes, as long as you do what is being asked of you, we can put this in our past and act as if nothing ever happened.
Okay, so Zig, you agree to paying back the money, and you say that you'll pay future payments, even if it means asking your parents for help, and once this is all over, you'll continue working again?
Yes, I've agreed to all of that and you have my word.
If you fail to do so, you realize she has every right to evict you.
Yes, I do understand that and I'm aware of that. I give her my permission to do so, and if I do not do what she needs me to be done.
Okay. Brenna, you've heard what Zig agreed to do, and you're okay with it?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Alright, well, it looks like we've come to an agreement that both parties are aware of and willing to do, correct?
Correct.
Alright, thank you both for coming and being so willing to participate in the mediation process. One last time, Zig, you're aware that you have to pay back the $500 to your landlord within the next month, and if you do not pay that or make any future rent payments, you will be evicted.
Yes, I'm aware.
And then, Brenna, you're aware that Zig has committed to paying the $500 back and promises to continue to pay rent each month in the future. You're also aware that if she does not do so, you have every right to kick her out and find a new roommate.
Yes, ma'am. I hope she can stick to her word and all of this will be solved.
Okay, it looks like we're done here. Thank you both for coming. I wish you both the best. If you have any further questions, feel free to call me at any time.